The air in the living room felt thick, heavy with the scent of burnt coffee and my own stale breath. I sat on the edge of the couch, the leather creaking under my weight, my fingers trembling as they clutched the phone. The video was paused, a frozen frame of betrayal glowing on the screen. A blurry silhouette of her, my wife, laughing in a dimly lit bar, her hand resting too long on another man's arm. My heart thudded, a dull hammer against my ribs, as I waited for the front door to click open. When it did, the sound was a gunshot in the silence. "Sit down, Sarah," I said, my voice low, jagged. "You need to watch this." She froze in the doorway, her purse slipping from her shoulder, her eyes darting to the phone like it was a live grenade. Her footsteps were slow, deliberate, as she crossed the hardwood floor, the boards groaning under her weight. The late afternoon sun slanted through the blinds, casting sharp shadows across her face, her wide green eyes, the freckles I'd once traced with my thumb, now alien to me. She sat, her body rigid, her hands folded tightly in her lap. "What's this about, Mark?" she asked, her voice a fragile thread already fraying. I didn't answer. I pressed play. The video flickered to life. Her laughter, bright and unguarded, spilling from the speakers, the man's low chuckle blending with it. Her hand lingered on his sleeve, her head tilting closer, their knees brushing under the table. My stomach churned, bile rising as I watched her watch herself, her face draining of color, her lips parting in a silent gasp. I'd found the video by accident, buried in a string of messages on a coworker's phone, sent to me in a group chat with a careless caption. "Guess who's cozy at O'Malley's?" At first, I didn't believe it. Sarah, my Sarah, who'd kissed me goodbye that morning with coffee on her breath, who'd left a sticky note on the fridge about picking up milk. She couldn't be this stranger in the grainy footage. I'd replayed it a dozen times, searching for proof it wasn't her. The angle of her jaw, the way she tucked her hair behind her ear, the silver bracelet I'd bought her glinting on her wrist. Each detail was a knife, carving away my denial. "Why didn't you tell me you were going out last night?" I asked, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. Her eyes flicked to mine, then away, settling on the coffee table, where a half-empty wine glass sat from the night before. I did," she stammered. "I said I was meeting friends." Her lie was flimsy, a paper shield against the truth. I leaned forward, my elbows digging into my knees, the phone still warm in my hand. "Friends don't sit that close, Sarah. Friends don't touch like that." Her breath hitched, and she pressed her lips together, her fingers twisting the hem of her sweater. The room felt smaller now, the walls closing in, the air humming with unspoken questions. I wanted to scream, to shake her, to demand why she'd thrown us away. But part of me, some pathetic, desperate part, wanted her to explain it away, to weave a story I could believe, to stitch our life back together. "Who is he?" I asked, quieter now, my voice cracking on the last word. She shook her head, her hair falling over her face like a curtain. "It's not what you think," she whispered, but the words sounded hollow, rehearsed. I laughed, a bitter, broken sound. Just don't lie to me anymore." The video looped silently now, her laughter muted but no less piercing. I remembered the early days, when her laugh was my anchor, when we'd stay up late talking about dreams. Hers to open a bookstore, mine to build a cabin in the mountains. We'd been a team, or so I thought, until the late nights at work started, the vague excuses, the way her phone was always face down. I'd ignored the signs, chalked them up to stress, to her new job at the publishing house. I told myself I was paranoid, that love meant trust. But trust was a fragile thing, and now it lay shattered between us. "His name's David," she said finally, her voice barely audible. "He's a colleague. It was just drinks, Mark. I swear." Her eyes met mine, pleading, but there was something else there. Guilt, yes, but also defiance, a spark of something I didn't recognize. "Just drinks," I repeated, my tone sharp. "Then why didn't you tell me? Why hide it?" She flinched, as if my words were physical blows. "I didn't want you to worry," she said, but her voice wavered, and I saw the crack in her armor. "Worry?" I snapped. "I'm not worried, Sarah. I'm destroyed." The silence that followed was suffocating, broken only by the faint hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen. I stood, pacing to the window, staring at the street outside where kids rode bikes in lazy circles, oblivious to the wreckage inside our home. I thought of the nights I'd spent alone, convincing myself she was just busy, that her distance was temporary. I thought of the bracelet, a 10th anniversary gift, now a mocking symbol of my blindness. How long? I asked, my back to her, my hands gripping the windowsill. She didn't answer right away, and that pause was its own confession. A few months, she said at last, her voice small, trembling. It wasn't planned. It just happened. I turned, my chest tight, my vision blurring. It just happened? I echoed, my voice rising. You don't just happen to betray someone you love, Sarah. You choose it. Her eyes filled with tears, but I couldn't tell if they were for me or for herself. I didn't mean to hurt you, she said, her voice breaking. I love you, Mark. I still do. The words hit like a punch, because they were true and not true all at once. Love didn't vanish. It just got tangled in lies. I sank back onto the couch, my head in my hands, the weight of her words pressing down on me. Part of me wanted to forgive her, to cling to the life we'd built. The lazy Sundays, the shared jokes, the way she'd hum off-key while cooking. But another part, raw and raging, wanted to tear it all apart, to make her feel the pain she'd inflicted. Why him? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. What did he give you that I couldn't? She hesitated, and in that moment, I saw the truth she wouldn't say. It wasn't about what he gave her, but what I hadn't noticed she needed. The doorbell rang, a sharp intrusion that made us both jump. I ignored it, but Sarah stood, wiping her eyes, her movements jerky. I'll get it, she said, her voice unsteady. I grabbed her wrist, not hard, but enough to stop her. No, I said. We're not done. Her eyes searched mine, and for a moment, I thought she'd confess everything, lay bare the full scope of her betrayal. But then her phone buzzed on the coffee table, lighting up with a name, David. My blood ran cold. Answer it, I said, my voice flat, daring her. She didn't move, her gaze locked on the phone, her breath shallow. The doorbell rang again, insistent, and I let go of her wrist, my hand trembling. I walked to the door, my heart pounding, and opened it. There he was, David, the man from the video, standing on our porch, his face pale, his eyes wide with something like fear. Mark, he said, his voice low, urgent. We need to talk. Behind me, Sarah gasped, and I turned to see her clutching her phone, her face a mask of panic. The world tilted, and I realized the betrayal was deeper than I'd imagined. Not just an affair, but a secret they both shared, a truth they'd kept from me together.